Hi, my name is Trent McClure. I'm a student at BYU, Idaho, do, doing a quick assignment to be able to give a review of family systems theory and why this has kind of become my favorite theory out there and how I find it to be applicable in a couple of different situations. So to be able to give a review, um, an overview of what family systems theory is, it's pretty neat for most theories that you'll go over within the family. The theories will focus on the whole family and kind of the different life phases that they go into or are dealing with. But something about family systems theory is that the theory focuses more on the individual and how, in a sense, what they do affects the rest of the family. So it's kind of neat. This theory focuses on the family as a whole, but it actually really focuses more kind of on the lines of communication and how that, in a sense, will factor in or influence the rest of the family. So I find that kind of interesting because we can kind of think about the family moving together as a whole whenever the family experiences any amount of stress or challenges in their life. But this theory focuses more on just the impact that one individual may try to do to create change within the family system. And so part of this change that the individual or the family will experience is kind of classified as into two different feedback loops. The first one is negative feedback loops. This talks about the tendency that individuals within the family try their best to be able to create a level of homeostasis or a level of comfort, equilibrium, kind of different ways how to say it. But negative feedback loops will work hard to make sure things stay the way they are. So that deals with family traditions, family rules, things that the family have done for years and years and years. And they want to keep it that way, and it's going to stick that way. So the opposite of negative feedback loops is positive feedback loops. And positive feedback loops are essentially a way to promote change within the family system. So this change is neither a negative change or a positive change. It depends on the situation. But this, in a sense, changes. An individual will try to create a positive change to make a change to the different rules. In fact, like a teenager may be wanting the rule of being home by 11 o'clock to be changed to midnight because it's senior prom and she wants to be able to stay out later. That's kind of an example of a positive feedback loop. So within the family system, we have a balance of negative and positive feedback loops going, and it's up to the individuals within the family to be able to do what they need to be able to create a level of homeostasis that works. Something that's really, really neat about this theory, though, that I really love and enjoy, is kind of the idea of what's called an identified patient. And this identified patient is the person in the family that the family then identifies as the one that is dysfunctional. The family says, Johnny, the middle child here, is dysfunctional here. He's the one that's causing all the problems within the family. He's the one that's showing all the levels of aggression and creating havoc and discomfort for our family. So the identified patient is the person who the family says this is the person with the problem. But really, the neat thing about it all is it's the family as a whole has a problem with communicating. Their communication skills are dysfunctional, and they are the ones who are, I guess you could say, off in left field when Johnny, the identified patient, is actually the one who is steady and on course and how he needs to be. So something that's really neat with that, if you're going into family therapy or counseling, you may run into this concept a lot, where a family may come in and say, "We just don't know what to do with Johnny anymore. He's struggling in school. He's being aggressive at home. He's never acted like this before. Just things are different now, and we need to fix his problem, and this is how he is. So the family has identified Johnny as the one who has the problems, but as your therapy session goes along, you can see and realize that Johnny is the one who's being attacked, but there may be some underlying factors as to why Johnny is the one who may be exhibiting aggressive behavior. So as your therapy session goes on, you start to realize that the family, or more specifically the parents, are the ones who are having the dysfunctional communication problems at the time. They may be fighting or contemplating divorce, and because of their actions and influence that they have, Johnny is being affected by it. And the parents don't want to accept the reality that their actions and their own faulty communication skills are the reason for why Johnny is acting out. They are only wanting to blame and put the focus on Johnny. And so this is really neat to be able to say, okay, we can see that Johnny may be exhibiting the behaviors out front, but really, as a whole, this is where it starts with the parents. And so then you can go back and focus on that influence that the parents may have and how they can be able to use the examples of negative and positive feedback loops to be able to create the family, a level of homeostasis within the family. So these are a couple of just quick examples as to why I really like family systems theory. I think it's applicable in a lot of different areas, but this is kind of just a quick little video to give you an idea a little bit more of what feedback loops are, what the identified patient is, and I hope you learned from it. Have a wonderful day.